This is our 2013 Mazda 3, and don't let this fool you, this car is in terrible shape. I know this is not from the 80-mile-an-hour winds that we had this morning or the crazy flash flooding and torrential downpour we had.
Continued rounds of strong to severe storms have already caused flooding in the area. There were several high water rescues this afternoon, including one involving a trapped City of Dallas worker. Meanwhile, Encore says crews working to restore power from Tuesday's severe weather in Dallas County.
And this wasn't a direct result from anything we did. We gave this car to this guest in the most perfect condition this car has ever been. New tires, fresh oil change, complete detail on the inside and out. This car was ready to rock. The guest just decided to destroy it over a 2-month-long rental. But let me give you the rundown. Starting off with the driver's side fender, the guest claimed that somebody crossed into his lane. Everyone says that. It's never their fault. However, our car ended up getting pretty severely damaged. The hood is misaligned, the fender's misaligned, even the headlight is misaligned because this fender is so harshly caved in. Now you might be thinking, this damage isn't that bad. The fender just needs to be replaced, but we haven't even gotten to the second accident. This was just the first accident the renter was in. Now the damage is pretty self-explanatory. He was hit from right here all the way down to the end of the vehicle, even to the tail light, and it caved in the door pretty significantly. I'd say that this is like at least 6 inches worth of depth just going into the door. The window doesn't even roll down all the way because the inside of the door is caved in that much. It's so bad, let me show you the inside of the door. Hello? I can't, because the door is physically broken. It barely opens from the inside. Let's go ahead and put this back. Perfect. How our guest explains it, he was driving down a one-way, he was going the wrong way, and he was backed into from a truck, and this is the result from the back end of a Toyota Tacoma creasing the entire side of the vehicle. Not only is it just from the door damage, it bent that inside pillar where the doors actually sit on, and then even through this back dog leg, which is a completely separate part. And the scratches are not easily fixable. They're actually gouging out bits of the metal out of this. None of this stuff can be fixed without an extreme amount of Bondo or body filler and a complete respray, and even then it still won't look the same. In addition to all the scratches on the side of the vehicle, this rear quarter panel, it even stretched to this bumper right here and even the rear tail light. Now I mentioned whenever we gave this car to the guest, we had 4 brand new tires in alignment and a new set of hubcaps, yet we're still missing a hubcap, and one of the tires actually is the same tire, but it's from a different day code, which means it was replaced. I also found a tire tool in the back seat of the car, which is kind of weird, so I did some investigating and I found what I believe is probably the baldest tire you're ever gonna see. It's our spare tire. It's kind of dark in the trunk, so I'm gonna pull this out for better lighting, but this is the spare tire for a car, not a spare tire for a motorcycle. And this thing is trash. It's down to the inside cord. It's bubbled out, which means that it's definitely overfilled with air or it's delaminating. This thing is in rough shape and the spare had never been used before.
So this tire had normal tread on it before this renter took it?
Yeah, and it's now completely bald. And I'm guessing he probably ended up getting a flat, had to replace it, didn't want to replace it, put the spare on until he physically wasn't able to any longer. And this just shows the type of renter that had this vehicle really careless through the damage and even this temporary spare tire. But if that wasn't enough, let's show you the inside. Let me get that for you. God. So coming inside, this thing is trash. This is exactly how he ended up bringing the vehicle to us. There's nothing been changed, nothing's been moved around. Exactly how you see it is how he brought it to us. And it smells terrible in here. It smells like a mixture of cigarettes and cheap air fresheners and dog hair and doo-doo. This is really unfortunate because this guest had rented multiple vehicles from us over the course of a 6-month period, and this was his longest rental to date. Now we knew this renter was going to rent this vehicle for a very long extended period of time, so I wanted to make sure that this car was in tip-top shape. Fresh oil change so we wouldn't have to see him for at least 3 months. We had to make sure it had brand new tires, a fresh alignment so none of the tires would wear unevenly. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure I did front brakes on this car, and even bringing it back now, the brakes are grinding down. Now previously, any car that this guest brought back wasn't in like terrible shape. There wasn't any damage. The car wasn't really all that dirty. Maybe smelled like a twinge of cigarette smoke on the inside, but other than that, there was no admissible evidence that we could say, hey, you smoked in this car, cut it out. We were fine with it because he was a good renter and it was bringing in money. And obviously this wasn't the case with this car, it's just rough. So we submitted the damage claim for this vehicle and Turo believes that this thing is totaled out. So they're sending IAA to come pick up the vehicle, so we have to take it back down to the lot. This thing's screaming for help. Now I did the brakes on this vehicle before we gave it to the renter, and the brakes are pretty shot. It has a very kind of laggy pedal, and every now and then it squeals terribly. So we're instructed to leave the car at the lot and put the key or keys under the floor mat. So it's been about a week and the Mazda has been picked up from IAA, so let's go over the official payout. So when we purchased this vehicle back in December of 2021, we paid $5,600 for that Mazda 3. Now ever since we purchased that vehicle, it's been on 155 trips and it's racked up a lot of mileage and brought us in a lot of money. Now the purchase price we paid $5,600 for, we were paid out minus our $750 deductible. Can't forget the 50 cents. $8,249.50. Whoa. Which means just from the payout of the total loss and how much we paid for this vehicle back in 2021 brings us to a vehicle profit of $2,649.50. Which is crazy considering we've had this car for about 2.5 years. We have put tens of thousands of miles on it. It's been on 150 plus trips. It's been dinged, farted in, smoked in countless number of times, yet we still end up with a $2,600 profit. This is why it's super important when you're purchasing a vehicle to pay attention to depreciation, to buy a car that's already hit its rock bottom, and even go further than that, buy it below market value. And this is something we've proven time and time again with our Toyota Yaris, our blue Honda Civic that we just simply sold, didn't even get totaled out on Turo, and now this car. We've proven that this method works with every single total loss we've had over the years, and we've had a lot of them. Now it's important to remember this isn't the total amount of money we've made on this vehicle in our possession on trips, because this is simply how much we bought it for and how much we were received whenever the vehicle was paid out. If we were to include our earnings that we've made on this vehicle, it'd be a lot more. And if you're keeping track, we've lost 3 vehicles this year. This one, and this one. Now we haven't replaced those vehicles just quite yet, but we have added a couple of other things to our fleet. This super cool mini fridge for my garage. This quick jack set so I can easily lift up a car without having to use my pump jack. This cool scooter. To help me get to and from the lot, that way I don't have to rely on Aubrey. Not only is this a good way to get to the lot, but also to get to Firestone and sometimes a dealership, which Aubrey says I'm not allowed to do because it's too far. Now Aubrey and I do plan to replace these vehicles eventually. However, we are holding off for the time being because we are planning on purchasing something pretty significant in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for not only this big purchase, but some of the other vehicles we're going to be buying at the end of the summer months. And as always guys, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next episode.